Welcome to EPG Pathshala program. Myself Meenal Katarnikar, Associate Professor from the Department of Philosophy, University of Mumbai. In this session, we are going to study Dinnaga and Dharmakirti on theories of perception. This module is written by Amit Bhattacharya from Burdwan University. This module is based on the developments in Indian epistemology done by Dinnaga and Dharmakirti, especially in the field of perception and inference. Dinnaga, the Buddhist logician from 5th century, arose on the horizon of Buddhist tradition on mainly two backgrounds. One background was the established realistic philosophy of the Naiyayikas, where the reality of the external world was assumed to be independently real, and the knowledge of the same reality was regarded as the interaction between independent subject and the independent object. Another background for Dinnaga was from his own tradition, that is Nagarjuna, and especially Nagarjuna's critique of the realistic philosophy of the Naiyayikas. Nagarjuna challenged the very concept of pramanas, the pramana-prameya relationship, and the essentiality of all existence. So Dinnaga's philosophy is at once a response to Nyaya realism and also a response to Nagarjuna's criticism of the pramanas. With his theory of knowledge, Dinnaga pioneered the whole Buddhist epistemology and gave way to the further logicians in the tradition. He did not dwell upon the metaphysical issues much, but in response to Nagarjuna's objection, he could articulate, or rather he articulated the relation between the object and the pramanas as reciprocal relation rather than hierarchical or sequential relation. So he declared that there are two pramanas, namely Pratyaksha and Anumana, as there are two objects, Swalakshanas and Samanya Lakshanas. Perception or Pratyaksha was declared to be the direct knowledge, and Anumana or inference was regarded as the indirect knowledge. Swalakshana is a momentary particular which is devoid of any self nature. So Samanya Lakshana is a universal which is a product of Vikalpa or mental construction. According to Dinnaga, there is one-to-one relation between the pramana and the object of knowledge. That is to say, Pratyaksha grasps only Swalakshana and Samanya Lakshana is grasped by Anumana. There is no interchange between the pramanas and the object. That is to say, Pratyaksha can never grasp the Samanya Lakshana and Anumana can never grasp the Swalakshana. As we have already seen in other module, this position in epistemology is known as Pramana Viplava or Pramana Vyavastha. After giving categorical description of the pramanas and the prameyas or respective prameyas, Dinnaga goes on to define perception as this way. According to him, perception is that cognition which is free from conceptual construction. In Sanskrit, Pratyaksham Kalpana Podham. There is no slightest element of mental construction or conceptual construction in perception. As can be seen by the students of Indian epistemology, this definition is a direct attack on the Nyaya definition of perception, according to which perception is that cognition which arises out of sense object contact and which has three features. It is free from the verbal association, it is unerring, and it is determinate. So according to Naiyayikas, perception is a determinate cognition which arises out of sense object contact, but it is free from the error and it is also not associated to verbal elements. According to Dinnaga, perception cannot be a determinate cognition. In order that it is a determinate cognition, it has to be associated with the word, because determination takes place only on the count of judgment. In simple language, when we identify the object, when we give a name to the object, or when we describe the qualities of object, that cognition can be called as determinate cognition. But as already expounded by Dinnaga, perception grasps only Swalakshana, and Swalakshana does not have any name, any quality or any feature whatsoever. Moreover, the direct cognition is available to the person directly without any mediation, and therefore it is a direct apprehension by the human person. There is no such place for the mediation of concepts like Nama Rupa, Guna, Jati, Dravya and Kriya, which five are regarded as Kalpana by Dinnaga. According to him, Pratyaksha is that cognition which is free from these five Kalpanas or these five mental constructions. To create these mental constructions is the function of intellect, which is another faculty of the human person. To apprehend the object without any determination is the task of the senses, which is another faculty of human person. If perception is directly available to human person, that is directly available to the senses, it must be without mental construction, because that task is done by another faculty. And as again declared by Dinnaga, there is no admixture between the pramana and the object of pramana. If perception is declared to be determinate, it will be declared to be grasping the object of anumana, because determination is done only on the basis of five kalpanas. So if perception is determinate, it will be associated with the five kalpanas and then it no more remains perception. So for Dinnaga, this kind of knowledge is categorically indeterminate. It is not found necessary by Dinnaga to say clearly that perception is indeterminate, because according to him, there are no two categories of perception, namely indeterminate and determinate, as declared by the Naiyayikas. According to Dinnaga, perception qua perception can only be indeterminate. The so-called determinate perception of the Naiyayikas is a determinate cognition that takes place in the wake of indeterminate perception. To use the Sanskrit terms, according to Nyaya thinkers, Nirvikalpaka Pratyaksha, that is indeterminate perception, is the first stage, and determinate perception, that is Savikalpaka Pratyaksha, is the completed state of perception. And for Naiyayikas, it is important that perception designates a complete cognition. So for them, indeterminate perception is only the beginning, while determinate perception is the completed perception. Dinnaga rejects this view because according to him, once the object is presented to the senses, the cognition takes place. And what follows after that is always and necessarily associated with kalpana or conceptual construction. So what arises in association with conceptual construction cannot be accommodated in the real perception. So according to Dinnaga, the genuine perception is only indeterminate perception or nirvikalpaka pratyaksha. Now, if perception is not associated with kalpana or mental construction, how do we decide the truth of that? How can we call any perception as true or false? For Dinnaga, this question technically does not arise because nirvikalpaka pratyaksha or indeterminate perception is beyond the classification of truth and falsity. It is just the apprehension of the object. To use the term in another context, it is like a fact. It is just there. What is decided to be true or false is the judgment which is based on this kind of perception. And therefore, according to Dinnaga, there is no scope for error in indeterminate perception. By default, nirvikalpaka pratyaksha or pratyaksha as pratyaksha is free from the distinction between truth and falsity. Now the error may take place at the level of judgment, and that can be decided to be either erroneous or truthful on the basis of its leading to its ability to lead to the successful activity. As the students of philosophy know, Buddhists have accepted arthakriya karitva as the criterion of truth. So arthakriya karitva of determinate cognition can decide the truth and falsity of the cognition in question. But that is a determinate cognition which is associated with the conceptual construction. The nirvikalpaka pratyaksha which gives rise to this determinate cognition does not come in purview of the classification between truth and falsity. So for Dinnaga, there is no doubt about the nature of pratyaksha and there is no doubt about the object of perception. The nature of pratyaksha is necessarily nirvikalpaka and the object of this nirvikalpaka pratyaksha is swalakshanam. This pratyaksha is also improvised by the later thinker in the Buddhist tradition, Dharmakirti. Dharmakirti goes little ahead of Dinnaga and defines pratyaksha as pratyaksham kalpana podham abhrantam. We have already seen the meaning of the term kalpana podham. Now let us see the meaning of the term abhrantam. Abhrantam means that which is free from error or illusion. Just now we said that according to Dinnaga, there is no place for error in nirvikalpaka pratyaksha. Then how is it that Dharmakirti is adding the adjective abhrantam to the definition of perception? The reason given by Dharmakirti is also very logical. Dharmakirti differentiates between the error taking place at the level of judgment and the error taking place at the level of senses. Error that takes place at the level of judgments is certainly not the perceptual error. So there is no need to differentiate between perception from this kind of error because that is error at the level of judgment. But what about the error that takes place at the level of sense organs? Is there any example of the error taking place at sense organs? We are familiar with the examples like mirage or mistaking a rope for the snake. In these two examples, there is error of judgment. Rope is mistakenly judged to be a snake, or when there is no water, there is a judgment indicating that there is water. So these are errors taking place at the level of judgment. There is no consideration of these kinds of example in Dharmakirti's definition. But he gives another examples. You suppose this case for a moment. If we press our eyeball, we see everything double. Or the stick, which is very straight, when dipped in the water, appears to be slanting. In these two cases, the person knows that there are no two objects. When we are going for the first example, when we press our eyeball, we know that there are no two objects, there is only one object. But our senses give us appearance that there are two objects. In the case of stick also, we all know that the stick is straight. But even though in fact the stick is straight, it appears to be slanting when it is dipped into the water. So when we are perceiving the stick as slanting, still we know that it is straight. These are not judgments. These are the appearances which are giving us a different kind of appearance of the object in spite of we knowing the nature of the object. Dharmakirti tries to differentiate these kind of cases from the genuine case of perception. And according to him, it is necessary that we include the character abhrantam to show that the perceptual cognition or the true perceptual cognition is different from the erroneous sense illusions. This is Dharmakirti's improvisation on the definition of perception. After giving the definition of perception in this novel way, Dinnaga goes on to tell us about the four types of perception. Any kind of perception is the direct cognition. But there are four subtypes of perception. First is sense perception, where it is the cognition obtained by the sense organs. Second is mental perception or manasa pratyaksha. Third is introspection or swasamvedana. And fourth is yogic intuition or yogaja pratyaksha. In any kind of perception, the definition of perception is categorically applicable. So in any kind of perception, there won't be a slightest admixture of the conceptual construction, and all of them would be totally indeterminate cognitions. The so-called determination of the object will take place only in the wake of these indeterminate cognitions. So for Dinnaga, it is without any doubt and without any ambiguity that perception is the cognition of indeterminate type. The debate between Naiyayikas and Dinnaga Dharmakirti went on for decades, and there are arguments and counter arguments, conjectures and refutations from both the sides. This debate actually enriched both the traditions, because in the light of the skeptical challenge of Nagarjuna and the revised epistemology given by Dinnaga and Dharmakirti, the Nyaya thinkers also revised their explanation and justification of their concept of perception, which was mainly of the nature of Savikalpaka Pratyaksha. Similarly, Nyaya arguments against the indeterminate nature of perception made the Buddhist thinkers create more novel and logical justification for their concept of Nirvikalpa Pratyaksha. As the students of philosophy can see, this is a perennial problem in philosophy. What is the genuine nature of perception? Is it indeterminate or is it determinate? If the importance is given to grasping the object with all the details, perception will be defined as determinate. But if the importance is given to the directness of the cognition, then perception will be defined as indeterminate. So it is a matter of choice rather than what is factually there. As we have seen in the introductory module, these are two different paradigms that are operating in the field of epistemology. Nayayikas are utilizing or operating the realistic paradigm, where according to them the object is given independently of the knower, and it is the phenomenon of knowledge that makes the knower available of the determinate cognition of the object. As against this, Buddhists are using the constructivist paradigm, according to which the knower is grasping the momentary reality, but at the same time, with the help of the concepts which are necessarily mental constructs, the knower is also constructing the object. So object is partly given and partly constructed. Now whether object is really given or whether it is partly given and partly constructed, this is not a factual issue. This is a conceptual issue, and therefore in the debates on perception we can see the actual concrete example of a philosophical debate where the two parties are arguing for the justification of their paradigms rather than they are arguing for any matter of fact. Problem of perception, or rather concept of perception, is one of the fundamental issues in philosophy, both Indian as well as Western. In this session, we have discussed mainly the concept of perception as defined and elaborated by Dinnaga, improvised by Dharmakirti, and their debate with the Nayayikas. If we want to know more about this debate, it is advisable to refer to the write-up on this session and also the reference list that is provided at the end of lesson. The original sources will certainly help in knowing more about the epistemological development in the Indian context. Thank you.